I mean, I get all geeked out about the science because I'm a nerd, but I mean, I'm so honored that the gentleman, that the reason we're all here, the reason that we have the opportunity that we have, the reason our lives are changing is because of this man. So this is a really big honor. So real quick, tell the crowd your background. Who is Dr. Michael Seiglman?
So I'm Michael Seiglman. Nice to meet all of you. Hopefully I can say hi to a few of you afterwards. I'll be here for a little bit. It's really funny when I talk to crowds and I talk about what I've done, I usually say, hi, my name is Michael Seiglman and I am a junk food junkie. And that's exactly what I was when I was 17 and 18. And I used to travel the country playing semi-professional racquetball. And I ate 8,000 calories a day. And it was pizza, nacho cheese, Doritos, and Coca-Cola. That's kind of what I ate. Not a very good diet, but not atypical for the typical average American diet. And I realized that can't be very good for me. And I was either going to be an F-16 fighter pilot, that's kind of what I wanted to do, or I was going to be a doctor. And my dad, who was a science teacher, said, Michael, son, go to college, and then maybe one day you'll be able to fly or something like that. So anyways, I went to college, and I realized that doctors know nothing about nutrition. So I went to the University of Michigan undergraduate and medical school. And my undergraduate degree was in the School of Public Health and Human Nutrition. And I did that because, again, doctors know nothing about nutrition. And then I went on and got my medical degree there. We had literally in the 4 years, 3 one-hour lectures on nutrition, yet doctors profess to be the ones who know more about nutrition than everybody else. And again, we have 3 one-hour lectures, which just didn't make much sense.
This is refreshing. 3 one-hour lectures.
And so, I was very happy with my background from the School of Public Health and Human Nutrition. It was about that time in my dorm room that I started making vitamins. I actually had vats of different things in my dorm room. So I had powders of vitamin E and vitamin C and ginkgo biloba and Coca-Cola, a lot of things that actually happen to be in the ViPack and in your shakes and in the Go and the Pro. And I mixed these things up as powders, and you go in the room down the hall where the smoke was coming out, and let's side and make it. And so people would leave that room and come to my room and hey guys, this stuff is just good for you. And I'm like, okay, we'll go back to the other room. So anyways, that's kind of how it started for me. And I basically made these things in my dorm room, knew that I wasn't doing things right, eating 8,000 calories a day of unhealthy food, and I realized that I needed to put some nutrients inside my body, and I just didn't like what was out there. And so I started formulating my own, and as you alluded to, we started doing studies with it. I've been funded from the NIH and other sources for about 25 years. We've been awarded about 8 patents so far, with more on the way, a couple that protect the NIH energy formula. And my job now, I'm an ear, nose, and throat surgeon by day. I have about 7 different hats that I wear for my health system. The health system is one of the largest in the country, in the Midwest. It's a $5 billion a year organization. And I am the director of wellness and prevention for our health system. So it makes up about my day job is also as I lead the charge of wellness and prevention for our health system, and it makes up about a quarter of our budget. So it's about a $1.5 to $1.7 billion emphasis in our health system, because I know, and I think all of you here in the audience know, is we don't provide health care in America, we provide sick care in America. And we're doing $2.2 to $2.7 trillion a year on sick care. And that's one of the reasons that I actually, the first time Nathan Blake approached me and said, would you be interested in us off-labeling your products and making them available to everybody? And I said, no. They said, well, why? And I said, because I didn't understand network marketing. I had a neighbor who would show up at my next door, my door, and say, hey, here's a bottle of super blue green algae, and sell 1,000 of these, and then you get one free. And she was about 5'2" and about 300 pounds, and she would always say, look how healthy I am. And it would last 6 weeks, and then she'd move on to the next thing and knock on my door, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I thought about. Until Nathan Blake kind of told me what this is about. They said, all I have to do is talk about the science and my background, and I said, I'm in the second time. And then now, I'm on the road to $1 billion a year in sales, to millions and millions of pounds lost, which is really more important to me than anything else. Healthier people on this planet. It's just an amazing thing. And so, in a nutshell, I'm a surgeon, I'm a scientist, I'm a nutritionist, and I work an awful lot of hours for Visalus and helping create new products with Steve Witherly and Audrey Sommerfeld, and really trying to bring to you only the finest scientific marketplace today.
That's awesome. It's funny, I was laughing because I had this visual of him like being this doctor, and then like at 5 o'clock he like takes up his shirt and it says bye, like he's a big superhero.
I had one on my forehead at one of the events.
Top 1% doctors in the US, I mean this is amazing. So tell the crowd here why our shake is so awesome.
So, it's really warm.
It is warm here. Take it off. He's gonna buy it.
I was working out with Jeremy this morning, and I think I saw a few of you there, and I think I'm still sweating after my workout. So there's a couple things. The shake, this is something that, we don't usually have a lot of time to talk about, but I've heard I do that sometimes. So the shake is 99.99% natural. It's made from non-GMO, means it's not genetically modified soy. People freak out about soy. You'll find the good and the bad about everything. One day you find an article that it's actually good to drink coffee. The next day you say, no, it's bad to drink coffee. And 3 weeks later, it's good to drink coffee. And, the controversy in science is going to be there for eternity, and we know that. So there's an outstanding amount of great press about soy. There's also some bad press if you go look about that soy. But it's because of the way that they've done it. It's because it's GMO. It's because of sometimes the isoflavones. The isoflavones, the most common ones are things like dadsine and genistein. So dadsine and genistein are actually what give it the phytonutrient compounds, which are actually good things unless you have a problem like an estrogen receptor positive tumor or something like that. So if you have a breast cancer, an ovarian cancer, then people freak out about soy. But what we've done with this product is we've removed the isoflavones, so there's no worry about that. People said, well, what about thyroid problems? We've removed the isoflavones again, so there's no problems there. So it's just left with the soy protein, which is an outstanding protein. Look at people in Asia who've eaten so much soy in their entire life, and they don't have the hot flashes that women go through here. They have a significantly lower risk of many different types of cancer, and some people think it's related to that. So I'm a big fan of the protein source inside there, and as we already heard, it won't grow boobs on men. So that's a pure scientific fact. So the other thing, it's a great way to help people lose weight. It makes you feel kind of full. It makes you feel good about it. There's nutrients inside there, and it's really just a wonderful meal replacement. And I talk to people about this all the time, and I joke about it, but it's true. When somebody said, "Can you help?" I don't know. Oprah Winfrey has 1 million people working for her, but I got an email. Can you help Oprah lose weight? And I said, "Of course I can. She needs to move in with me for 6 months." My wife's like, "I did not just say that." I did. You want Oprah living here? So I'm like the kind of fun. Does she like cats? Does she like dogs? She's like, so anyways, it didn't happen, by the way. But, I know for a fact that we can help people lose these things and lose weight and be healthier, but it is a lot of behavioral changes as well. So, I love the concept of a challenge of getting people and getting friends involved to help you do this, because it's not easy to do this on your own, and I'm not asking you, and nobody here is asking you to do this on your own. Get your friends and family involved and do this as a challenge. But back to the shake, one of the things that people get a little bit upset about is like the sucralose that's inside the shake. And so sucralose is a really interesting compound. It's got about 110 peer-reviewed studies to show that it's effective and safe. It's been approved by over 60 different countries. It's been reviewed by toxicologists, pediatricians, hematologists, oncologists for its safety background. It's about the safest sweetener out there that you can possibly use. The other thing is that what are the alternatives? There's really no great alternatives except scoops of sugar. We know what Coca-Cola and Pepsi and things are inside there. One bottle's got 250 grams of sugar in it, which hardens your arteries, gives you heart attacks, increases your risk of stroke, and makes the world obese. New York has already cut down on the fact of allowing you to drink only so much of this stuff because it's so bad for you. So there's not a lot of great alternatives. This is absolutely the best, in my opinion, way that we can sweeten a product so it doesn't taste like tree bark. Nobody would be eating it if it tasted like tree bark, right? You'll give it, maybe, if anybody's old enough or whatever, you'll give it yeah, right? 3 people.
You're saying that.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing you should realize is that a typical serving of our shake is 26 grams. That's 26,000 milligrams. There's 3 milligrams of sucralose for each of that serving. That means that 3 divided by 26,000, so if you did math, that's right, it's 1.15 times 10 to the minus 4th. So it means it's 0.000115 is the amount inside of the typical serving. So it's a really minuscule amount. And everybody says, well, why not xylitol? Well, xylitol is an alcohol sugar, and it causes diarrhea in 1 out of 5 people. And if the dog gets a taste of it, it'll kill a 40-pound dog. So it's also not approved in a lot of countries. And people say, okay, well, why not agave? And the agave is actually great, except that it's an 90% fructose. Fructose is another high sugar content, not very good for us. And the other one is why not stevia? And stevia is a nice natural product as well, but it tastes like black licorice, and a lot of people don't like the aftertaste and the flavoring of it, and it hasn't been well approved. So the bottom line is that these things are very safe, they're very effective, and they've helped millions of people lose millions of pounds. So, So the energy drinks, we have lots of options. We've got the Neuro, we've got the Go, we've got the Pro, we've got lots of different options for people, and I think it almost gets confusing in some ways. So I'll tell you, I'm not a big fan of the Living Essentials and the 5-hour energy drinks. They're really, really high in caffeine, a lot of those things. Ours really are natural types of stimulants that are safe, they're effective, and they kind of give you a nice level kind of, energy boost, if you will. And so some people talk about the Go, how it really jazzes them up. I don't personally take Go, but Go is the shot. I do personally take Go, I just had one, maybe that's why I'm starting to talk so fast. And my wife and I love Go, so if we're going out with friends of ours that are really energetic, we better have a Go. If we're going out with people that make us yawn all the time, we say, all right, let's
So you're a closet Go all.
Yeah, exactly. But like Neuro is something that I'm really fond of and proud of, and again, the team works to bring to you something that's safe, effective, as natural as it can possibly be. And so when I thought about my kids, who are, my youngest one is still at the Kelly School in Business in Indiana, Dad, he just finishes midterms and he's driving home at 9 o'clock at night, and he used to be, don't worry, Dad, I'm drinking a Monster, I'm drinking a cocaine, the energy drink cocaine. All these crazy drinks that are just these massive amounts of sugars and massive amounts of caffeine, and you just get this monstrous spike, and you're really jazzed, really awake, and also you just kind of crash. And you don't get that with the Neuro and the Go and the Pro. And so I think they're just really wonderful energy drinks that are safe and effective.
Everybody drink any of our energy drinks? Information you would like this lovely crowd to know about?
You touched on the BiPAC, which is obviously near and dear to me. It's been 25 years of my research, and I've done this for a long time. And I really think, I don't know what's in every single kit. She's the brainchild behind this. And we were talking about this before. Apparently, it's only in the core kit, but you can always do it as an add-on. In my mind, first of all, you need to realize that 1 out of every 3 of you count unless you're on the BiPAC. 1 out of every 3 of you has a micronutrient deficiency that you don't know. That you just don't know. I don't believe in the typical one-a-days or not well-absorbed things of that nature, and so I think every single person on this planet needs to be on the BiPAC. Now, am I biased? You bet. Of course I am. But I try to be as non-biased as I can. But we've put together the finest nutrients. There's more than 80 different nutrients inside there, more than 72 glasses of red wine extract, for example. And a lot of people, when they first read the ingredients, they say, oh, I've got beta-carotene, I've got vitamin C, I've got vitamin D. But they don't have alpha-lipoic acid. They don't have coenzyme Q10. They don't have an absorbable form of glutathione. They don't have N-acetylcysteine. I'm doing a lot of work with the military, and I'm part of their military strategic think tanks. The number 1, number 2 disability for men and women coming home from Operation Rocky Freedom in Afghanistan is hearing loss and ringing in their ears. And so one of the things that we've shown is that this thing can mitigate that and reduce the effects of noise-induced hearing loss.
Wow.
Yeah, the mitochondrial function declines with age. Well, the anti-age energy formula, we've shown this in an animal model that we can turn that clock back by a small but statistically significant degree. So people always say to me, I wish we could stop aging. And the bottom line is, when you're born at day 1, you just doubled your age at day 2. In my opinion, you don't want to stop aging, you want to slow the process. And we have pretty good data in a laboratory that suggests that we can slow that process. And that's pretty exciting. And then I got asked last night at a table from a group of people, I think it was Dr. Larimer's wife who was there, and a few other people who were there last night at about 1 o'clock in the morning when I arrived, my time anyways. And she says, so why is this stuff better? Why is the BiPAC better? And, on one hand, I used to kind of hate that question, because it's like saying, why is your kid better than my kid? Kind of thing. I realize it's a really important question. There's a lot of things that we do Visalus that most other companies don't do. So number one, with the BIPAC and with everything else, we're made in an FDA-inspected laboratory. We're GMP certified. I always thought that everybody knows what GMP means, but I'm realizing that everybody does. It means good manufacturing processes. So that basically means a vat of ginkgo biloba or a vat of resveratrol, the extract of red wine, which you get 72 glasses of in the antioxidant formula, comes into the laboratory in a big vat. They send it out. They have to, by law, send it to a third party to verify that indeed, for example, the ginkgo biloba is standardized for 24% ginkgo flavonols and 6% terpenes. That's what's got to be inside it. Or that indeed the soy product that comes in does not have any dads immunogenicity. So it gets sent out to a third-party laboratory, comes back, they build the pills, and then the FDA requires it to be within a certain range. You've heard the story on, oh, there's 100 milligrams of vitamin C in here, when in reality there's 0. That can't happen with what we are doing. I mean, I should never say never, but we dot our I's, we cross our T's. So we're FDA inspected, GMP certified. After the product's going to get sent out to another third-party independent lab where they verify and analyze and assay so that what we say is inside there is truly inside there. Our minerals are chelated, so that means we don't give you calcium carbonate, we don't give you zinc sulfate, we give you calcium glycinate, we give you zinc monomethionate. And chelated means that they're linked to an amino acid. Your body absorbs the amino acid very well and drags the calcium and the zinc in there with you. So it's a wonderful compound that we've done this. We've also, as you alluded to, 25 years of my own research, but probably hundreds of years of other people's research to look at what is the right ingredient and the right amount to reduce our risk potentially for heart disease or cancer or Alzheimer's. And we can't sit here and say we can treat or cure, and I'm not saying that, but I can tell you that we've looked at the data very carefully and put the right amounts for absorption purposes, for bioavailability purposes, and to potentially mitigate the risks of all these diseases